And although one can talk with individuals such as the foreign minister, say, in an Ahmadinejad regime, one should under no circumstances be deluded into soft peddling things that need to be done in order to make that hypothetical negotiation succeed when the chances are as close to zero as things get in human endeavors. One thing we should no longer do, and in this I join the others on this panel, is keep the MEK listed as a terrorist organization. In 22 years of practicing law, I read a lot of legal decisions, and I recently read the Circuit Court's decision in the case involving the MEK versus the State Department. And my experience, and I think that of most lawyers who are interested in international matters, is that courts ordinarily give a great deal of deference to the executive branch with respect to the conduct of foreign policy. This eloquently and well-written decision of last July by the D.C. Circuit effectively says quite bluntly, although it doesn't use this particular analogy, that what the Department of State has done is what the Red Queen does in Alice in Wonderland when she is asked if first we're going to have the trial and the verdict and then the execution. She says, oh, no, execution first, then trial. So we need to incorporate that move together with a vigorous effort to work with those who want a decent Iran outside the country and inside the country. Secondly, we should realize that although it means some pain to the Iranian people, the time is getting short. Stuxnet may have bought us a year or so, but it is not the ultimate victory over the Iranian nuclear program. We need to basically utilize Stuart Levy's excellent utilization of financial sanctions in an even more draconian way. I think what we need to do is to pull together the elements of a secondary boycott, essentially, of all companies in the outside world, especially those in Europe and Asia, that deal with Iran, other than by exporting food, pharmaceuticals, substances and products that would relate to the basic needs of the Iranian people. Otherwise, if you are a German bank or a Japanese construction company and you are dealing with Iran, you should not be able to deal with the United States. You should not be able to transfer funds through American banks. You should not be able to do anything. And the same would go for subsidiaries of American or other companies that, hiding under a foreign registration, are in fact trading with the enemy. That needs to get squashed, and squashed now. I think, finally, we need to realize that it is not 1933, it's 1938. And time is short. And the leadership of much of the Western world would like to dither. Churchill was indeed alone in the 20s and 30s, almost completely. Few friends, but almost completely alone, because he alone saw what was coming and what needed to be done. And when Britain finally turned to him in May of 1940, nearly a year into the ongoing World War II, it was very late. We were all very fortunate that they finally did, and that we ourselves were able finally to come into the war and clean up an absolutely terrible world situation that had killed millions and millions of people, in no small measure because of the dithering of the 1930s by leaders who bear, unfortunately, some rather strong resemblances to ones that we have had in the West in the last few years. So it would be my hope that we would all be able to work on these problems together with a new spirit of urgency and a new spirit of commitment. Thank you very much.